Good morning. My name is Klein, and I'm the host today for today's session. Well, as you all know, that in these days of pandemic nowadays, all our university partners are very much concerned about the worries of our international students who are traveling from Pakistan to Australia. So for that reason, I have one of my very favorite university partner here on the line today. It's the Swinburne University based in Melbourne. Well, I was just talking to Jacqueline a few moments ago. He said it's freezing in Melbourne, so I'm sure he'll give some updates on that as well. And secondly, he has got some very wonderful news to share with Pakistani students who are willing to join campus in Swinburne in coming days, fingers crossed. So I'll introduce my colleagues here today. First, we have Karen DeMello. She is the South Asia Operations Manager for Swinburne University. And most importantly, we have the Head of International Recruitment for Swinburne University, Klein. So Head of International Admissions is the most important person nowadays. I'm sure that he's got a lot to offer to Pakistani students. So over to you, Yoga. Please go ahead and introduce yourself again, and obviously let our Pakistani students know what exactly you have in place for them nowadays. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Carmen, and thank you for the invitation to speak today. As you said, I'm Jacqueline Klein, the Head of International Recruitment at Swinburne University in Melbourne, Australia. We are dead in the winter months at the moment, so it is very cold. I have got myself a cup of warm tea, and I've just taken off my scarf, even though I'm inside. We're just reaching out to our students and our good partners in Pakistan, just to let you know some of the things that we've been doing these last couple of months as we've been trying to adapt to this new world with COVID and with travel restrictions. And just wanted to make sure that we have a good set of opportunities that will allow students to still be able to study and continue their studies and their path towards graduation, even though they're not able to travel to Melbourne. So today I'm just going to talk quickly about some of our new and adjusted selection methods that we put in place, and then I'll talk about how we've managed to make about 99% of all of our courses available online for students who want to commence with us. And very excitingly also, I'll be talking a bit about our generous scholarships, some of which we've done in industry collaborations. And again, happy to take questions at the end. So when it comes to new and adjusted selection methods, of course, one of the first things that happened when the coronavirus hit us or hit the world was that the English language testing centers closed down. We had to pivot and work with new ways of testing, new testing regimes, new testing organizations. We've worked very closely with them, and we're very happy to announce that we are accepting the Duolingo and LinguaSkill English language online tests for our pathways and most of our undergraduate programs, as well as the TOEFL IBT Special Home Edition test, which is an online version of the TOEFL test, and we're accepting that for both undergraduate and postgraduate. We also have had some students who have had to delay their studies, who might have done a test already, who had to delay their commencement. And just to accommodate them, we have also made concessions when it comes to the validity period of our English language test. So we've moved that from 2 to 3 years, which we hope will assist those students. But I guess the big thing that we've been doing is making sure that students are able to commence their studies online. It has just become clear that coming and traveling to Australia in 2020 is increasingly unlikely, and we don't think will happen in very big numbers. So for us, it's been a priority to make sure that students are still able to commence their studies online, and we want to be as flexible with that as possible. And actually, I'll talk a bit in a second about it, but Swinburne is really uniquely placed to be able to deliver this. So what we have is all of our, well, I'm going to say 99% of our courses. The ones that will not be available are things like the Master of Physiotherapy, those types of courses that for accreditation reasons, we simply cannot offer a whole bunch of units online. But everything that we will offer online will be fully accredited and will be to the same high standards that we have in Melbourne. And as I mentioned, yeah, be available across all of our programs. We do suggest that students start by doing 2 units. It's one of the things we have at the university is what we call Swinburne Online. And through that, we have a bunch of research into students actually studying online. Have been delivering online programs for over a decade. And the recommendation is always just to do 2 units when you are a new student, unlike when a new student is studying online. Just start with 2 units instead of doing, for example, a full-time 4-unit load. So that is the recommendation. And what we're offering is for students to effectively try it out. We understand this isn't really how most students had envisaged that they would study. So we built in there an opportunity for students to start the program. And if they don't like it, or they don't think that it is giving them what they had hoped or isn't enough value, then they can withdraw before our census date, which is typically 4 weeks into the semester, and completely risk-free and not pay a cent. So that's our guarantee. Also, for the students that do commence and do like it and think it's been great, and they do all these units online, if they then subsequently apply for a visa to come to Australia, and they do not get the visa, we will also refund the studies that they have done already. So we are that confident in our online studies and our programs and the quality of it that we think that students will enjoy them. So we're allowing them to try them before they buy them. First up, all of our Pathways programs are available online. So any student who needs a diploma type program can start that in full online. We also have our English language programs available. They're also available in full online. And we have our new pre-qualifying postgraduate qualification program starting in August, also fully online. And it's worth just dwelling slightly on the Pathways programs. Although many of you might not be interested or need a pathway programs, because they have a few more intakes, they were actually the first of our students outside of our Swinburne Online program who went online. And we were a little nervous. I mean, to be honest, we weren't sure how students would react, particularly those students who had their eyes on coming to Australia, had their minds set up, and they in their mind's eye they were going to be studying on campus. All of a sudden are forced to study online. But we're really pleased to feedback that we've gotten some fantastic feedback. 100%, every single student that commenced online continued beyond census date. We even gave them an extra 2 weeks to make up their mind whether this was right for them, and every single one of them stayed on. And that's a really fantastic result. We found that students have recently quickly adapted to that online study mode, and some have actually enjoyed the fact that you can go back and revisit some of the lectures, that you can engage with the lecturers and through the chat functionalities, and you don't necessarily have to go and talk to them face to face. So that's been a bit of a side effect that we didn't think of when we set it up. And of course, one of the main things has been that students are reporting they're saving on their living costs, particularly in these programs. Some of these students had thought they had to spend 3 years in Australia. They're now only having to spend 2 years, and it just changes their budgets quite a lot. So what we're doing now, so we ran all of our units in our semester 1 online, and for our what we're doing for our semester 2, allowing students to come back on campus, is we've sort of curated the best of those units. So which are the units that scored really well? We do, of course, allow our students to give feedback on each course, and we get quality scores for each one of those courses. So the units that students will be doing when they're commencing are the best of the best, and the ones that have been really well suited for online. There's just no doubt that there are some things that you can teach better online. There's just some things that are better suited for online teaching, and we just want to make sure that the courses and the units that we put up front are the ones that are best suited to be online. We use the Canvas platform, which is quite a sophisticated cloud platform that allows students to engage directly, both live with teaching staff, but also to collaborate on materials. And again, it's that whole point of being able to revisit the material at your own leisure has been really positive. But the real advantage that we have at Swinburne is that through our Swinburne Online. We are actually the largest provider of online degrees in Australia. In last year, we had about 20,000 students doing an online degree, fully online with Swinburne. And 7 out of 10 of the courses that we offer to students coming in to semester 2 are available through Swinburne online units. And these are specifically designed units. These are not units that we've had to push online because of coronavirus. These are units that were specifically designed to be offered and to be delivered online. They've been doing it for over a decade, and those 20,000 students are mainly working professionals in Australia, quite demanding customers that have other things to do and spend their money on. They also so they're quite demanding, but they're also feeding back to us that they really enjoy our courses, and we're really proud that Swinburne Online have a well above average as overall student satisfaction score. So if it was an on-campus university, it would be considered one of the best in the country. The teaching quality scores well, the skills, learning skills, and even the student support, which is of course done fully online, and it always scores well. So we think at Swinburne that we have, or we know at Swinburne, because students tell us that we have some of the best online courses available in the country. We've also managed to make it accessible, and we think the risk-free enrollment will also make it easier for more students to be able to experience these programs. But what we're also offering, and this is exciting, this is both during the next semester, but also into 2021, is quite a generous scholarship scheme. For example, we have our ELICOS Plus exclusive program, which gives students the equivalent value of 10 weeks of English language training refunded in their main degree. So at the moment, that's cost 10 weeks of English costs 4,400 Australian dollars. You will still pay that up front, but you get that equivalent amount deducted when you start the main program. We also have revamped what we call our International Excellence Scholarship. It's always been one of our priorities to attract the best talent. So we've simplified the system and made it more attractive. And quite importantly, we've also made it very attractive for the very top students, giving students who have a 95% equivalent WAM from their either undergraduate or high school up to a 75% fee waiver into the program. It's a fee reduction, up to 75%. It starts with the students who are coming in with the equivalent to 60%, and I suggest that you talk to our good friends at HR or our team in South Asia if you are coming from another system around equivalencies. But this is a very generous scholarship meant to support students that are coming in, but also make sure that we get the best students coming to Australia. And it's worth noting both the ELICOS Plus exclusive and the new International Excellence Scholarship program are available today. If you apply for them today, you will be eligible for them today, and they'll be available into the new year. We also have, and this is something that we've seen a lot of traction on, what we call the George Swinburne Postgraduate STEM Scholarship. This is a flat 30% fee reduction into a range of our master's degrees, like our Master of Engineering Science, Master of IT, Master of Professional Engineering, Master of Science Biotechnology, Master of Construction and Infrastructure Management, Master of Data Science, and Master of Cybersecurity. So some of our very best courses, again, just because we want to make sure that we attract the best students. Finally, yeah, it is very nice. And finally, this is something we were very excited about. We have we're aware that students studying online is not necessarily how they had intended to start their studies. We're aware that this is a new form of studying for many students. So what we've done is we've partnered with LinkedIn, our friends over at LinkedIn, to deliver a bunch of sessions in support of that are really employability sessions. They're in supporting students to make sure that even if they're studying online, that they can have many of those skills that they've got verified. I mean, one exciting thing that is coming out of this partnership is that any student who starts offshore and not able to travel to Australia will be able to get a 30% fee reduction for their online units. They will also have full access to the LinkedIn Learning platform, which has thousands of micro-credentialed units available. You'll have access to the full catalog. So for example, if you're very good at HTML coding or Excel or any particular skill that you're very good at, you can then use that platform to demonstrate and verify and actually get a credential that you can put onto your LinkedIn that you are indeed very good at this. Nice. Then we'll have LinkedIn, some of the staff over at LinkedIn will deliver sessions specifically for students in this cohort. So you'll hear from experts about which industries are still hiring. Of course, the coronavirus has kind of thrown the whole world into a bit of a turmoil, and you know, some countries are in recession, and many things are changing. So it's really, we find very useful to hear firsthand from the people that know best which industries are still hiring graduates. That's what you get from those sessions with our LinkedIn people. Plus, there are additional sessions about basically how do you make sure that you set yourself up to be recruited? How do you make sure that your LinkedIn is as good as it can be? How do you make sure that you have those right keywords in there so that you show up when recruiters are looking for students? So that's a really exciting thing that we're offering every student who comes into those online program. Then, of course, when you arrive in Australia, and if you qualify for one of the excellent scholarships or the George Swinburne STEM scholarship that I talked about before, then you still have that. But this is very specific only to the front, the online offshore student. So that's a quick update. So we've not been sitting on our hands these last couple of months. We've been doing quite a lot of things, and we're really hopeful that students will be interested. Of course, we want nothing more than having students on campus. So that's what we're really looking forward to. But we think we have as good an alternative as we possibly can at the moment.
Great. Well, yeah, that was a very, very helpful and very informative session. Thank you very much, Roman. The most important thing which I picked up is that the 75% fee waiver for those Pakistani students who have completed their higher secondary education with WAM aggregate of almost 95%. Yep. That is one of the most important factors, because I'm sure that none of the other Australian universities are offering 75% fee waiver to high achievers. So I would suggest all my viewers, all those who are watching this program, and can convey this message to all their students, friends, relatives, everybody, that if they have a 95% of WAM aggregate in their intermediate or higher secondary education, they can secure a 75% fee waiver from Swinburne University. It's a 75% scholarship, to be honest. And on top of that, the most important thing which I heard, that if they start their Alicos classes, their pre-sessional English for 10 weeks with Swinburne University, these students can get full refund of that amount of money, which is approximately 4,400 Australian dollars. That money can be adjusted in their first semester's tuition cost as well. So technically,
over the first three.
Over the first three, okay. So the money is technically given back to the students. They're studying English free of cost. So those students who do not meet the entry requirements can start their Alicos program with the university, and they can, get that money refunded. Well, thank you very much once again. And now I'll proceed to some of the questions on the Facebook. I can see one of the students have written that how to get the scholarship. I'm sure I can answer this question very simply. If you send your application through HR, and if you're meeting the entry requirements, you don't have to apply for a scholarship. You can secure that scholarship directly. You don't have to send in a separate application. Your documents will be assessed. Your profile will be assessed by Swinburne University, and they will offer you scholarship right away if you qualify for it. Am I right, Jacqueline?
Correct. Yes. So the application proper doubles as the scholarship application.
Okay. Yeah. And I can see which intake is expected in Australia. This question is by Arslan Ahmed Chaudhry. Arslan Ahmed, student on Facebook, had a question about the expected intake. So over to you for this question.
So as to which intake do we expect to have the students back on campus, you mean?
Yeah, this is what he
I mean, it's the $1 million question at the moment.
It is in fact.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we are, as a country, just to give a bit of an update from the ground here, I mean, Melbourne and Australia is slowly opening up. My son has gone back to his prep school, and that has opened, and we are looking at our return to campus for semester 2, and there will be for sometime during semester 2, we will all sort of be, all things going well, we will be returning various bits through the semester 2.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
We don't expect any big numbers of international students or even international anyone coming to Australia. The borders will not really open as they were open last year, probably this year. The Prime Minister has put international students very specifically as a priority in his 3-step plan to a post-COVID world. And all the state governments are now working on particular solutions, what that will look like. It's likely going to be a phased approach, which has very small sort of cohorts to begin with. So the next intake that we think is potentially viable would be semester 1, 2021. So that's the next one we're aiming for.
Great. Great. Yeah, looking forward. Great. Right. There's another question regarding again the scholarship of 25% for HSSE students. So technically, as I said, the HSSE students can secure some scholarship. But my question to you is that, the higher secondary education of Pakistan equals to 12 years of education. So what do we have to offer these students? Because this year, our HSSE students, intermediate FSE students, have been promoted to their degree classes. So they have passed with aggregate criteria. So do you have anything to offer in the scholarship for those students, please?
Yeah, so the same scheme will apply for those students. We'll be looking at the scores in those programs. So we've had that in different countries where different systems have responded in different ways, but the excellent scholarships is meant to be designed in a way that it can appropriately assess students. So if you are what we call a super elite student, a high achiever, that's the kind of student we want on campus, and that's the kind of student that will be eligible for the scholarship.
Great. Great, thank you very much. So everyone is covered. Everyone can secure a scholarship if they are good students and if they have secured very good marks in their exams. Well, I think this is it for today. With my last comment on Swinburne, that as you said in the beginning, that you're one of the biggest universities in Australia for online classes. So I'm sure that you guys are experienced.
Indeed, yes. It's and it's all delivered. Our delivery partner there is seek.com, which is .com.au, which is the biggest employment website in the country. So we're very experienced, very, very closely linked with industry. So yes, we're confident that we know what we're doing.
Great. That's very good. That's very good. So anyhow, I must thank you very much once again, because you guys spent some very important time, and it's Friday today. It's still noon, and people are getting ready for their Friday prayers. So I thank you very much once again for spending some time, and our students will be in touch. Dear students, you can see the numbers and the email ID of Karen as well online. So if you want to send an email directly to Karen, she has the email ID there. And you can contact me directly for your admission inquiries at 0322 5757 807. I'll repeat the number. It's 0322 5757 807. And you can always contact us through your questions on the same video, so we can respond to you in the best possible manner. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much, colleagues, and everybody who helped me today in this session. And we hope to bring you some very good news in the near future as well. Right, guys, you enjoy your winter, and I'm going to switch on my air conditioning right now because it's almost 35 degrees here today.
I think it's 2 degrees
hot here today.
Yeah.
Oh, you enjoy this winter, and we enjoy the summer here. Then. Well,
Will
thank
do.
you very much, guys. You take care.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Likewise.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.